Hey everyone, this is Alp here from FP Automation. Welcome back to part 6 of our multi-part series on sales and operations planning within the Microsoft Fabric and Acterys ecosystem. In our previous video, we talked about MRP planning and how the forecast from MRP can be used to influence the purchase order decisions that you have with your vendors and the lead times that you have in place. In this video, we'll be taking all the consolidated inputs from your various different forecasts that your teams have been making on constrained demand, production planning, and unconstrained demand, and showcasing to you the revenue, costs, and profit impact this has on your organization and what that can look like across different what-if scenarios. Before getting into the details of this series, I want to talk about quickly some pain points a lot of pharmaceutical manufacturing and consumer product goods companies have struggled with that we have helped them to overcome as a pain point with the solution and the ROI impact it has had. In the past, many companies struggled with the sheer number of data points available from a SKU perspective, whether they were planning hundreds or thousands of SKUs, in order to be able to see what that typical impact looks like. The other struggle for many companies is exactly how they are able to do what-if scenario planning with that sheer number of data. By having the Microsoft Fabric warehousing as well as Acterys for planning, companies are able to, at their fingertips, quickly see various different what-if scenarios and what a best case, worst case, what-if scenario, and budget and forecast looks like for an organization when it comes to S&OP planning. Imagine now your company, from a cost assumption standpoint, could influence what inventory hold assumptions, transfer, wholesale, and overtime production assumptions do to the cost of the business as they start to put unit assumptions in for that business. So imagine here for our worst case scenario, we're saying instead that in a worst case scenario, our inventory hold assumptions are 8%, our transfer hold assumptions are 4%, and our overtime production is actually 10% due to heavier costs on individuals for overtime. By saving the results right here, we can immediately see our results in real time, immediately influence our worst case scenario and exactly what our gross profit does as a result of that. We can see right here that as a result of our costs going up in a worst case scenario, we're looking at a much further deduction in our gross profit assumptions compared to what our forecast looks like as well as our best case scenario looks like here. In addition, we can also play around with prices. Imagine now you had the ability to be able to influence prices for SKUs year on year. Maybe you have multi-year increases on your SKUs. With the Acterys as well as Microsoft Fabric ecosystem, your company can see what would happen in different pricing situations as to what prices will do from a revenue standpoint to your particular SKUs and how that impacts your revenue overall for your company. By hitting the edit function right here and by giving you the ability to copy SKUs between scenarios, you can easily adjust various different prices for further years based on new information and new executive management decisions around what pricing should look like in the future for the company on various different SKUs. The same thing goes for cost of goods sold. If you are aware that you will have more volume-driven buildups on production, which would ultimately influence the costs to go down, you can also make adjustments over time if you know your cost of goods sold will further start to decrease based on your production getting better with the more volume that you're doing as an organization as demand starts to grow. This is all possible in addition to what-if scenarios, enabling you to see real time and have executives making decisions on exactly what is happening across the business based on all various different KPIs, KPI metrics happening. You can also look at various different product family groups. Imagine now your company has the ability to be able to see different product families and exactly what the revenue impact looks like for those companies in a best case, worst case, and base case scenario. These are all possible within the ecosystem right here, and the ROI realization is huge. Companies know exactly what sort of impact decisions can make and exactly what that looks like and what the right decision may be based on decisions within the company that are ultimately best for the bottom line as well as top line of the business. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're interested to learn more about what if scenarios, cost assumptions, pricing assumptions, as well as cost of goods sold assumptions, and how we're working with various different companies across the industry to do their S&OP process for their IBP process cycle in an efficient way, please feel free to click on the link below or reach us at fpautomation.co. Thank you, and this is Alp signing out. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video on scenario trend comparisons.